that you'll get. It's I don't know that I call it a virtual tour. It's a live tour. It's not a virtual reality model. It's just you're having to watch it on a computer screen or a phone somewhere. So again, thank you for taking the time to be with us. My name is Brad Estes. I'm the president of Soccer Holdings, and we have James O'Connor, the executive vice president of development. You want to give him a little shout of James there?
Hello, everyone.
I'm happy to say that when I came into the building today, that I had to answer about 25 questions and I had my temperature taken. So we're all safe and good here. We got good procedures here at Lynn Family Stadium. So what we're going to do is, Mike says, we're going to walk you around the stadium, show you a few things, and then in between key attractions, we'll talk a little bit about the club and where we're headed. So we wanted to start at the north end of the stadium because this is kind of the front door that you see as you're leaving downtown. I want you to give them a shot of the futsal court there. This is a futsal court that we have that once restrictions are lifted, we will have available from dawn till dusk, and we'll have any number of kids and adults playing soccer on this mini field. We think it's going to be a great attraction on pregame and just at any time. So we're really excited about this feature sitting right at our front door here. Right behind us as we come in, we've got the largest outdoor billboard in the state of Kentucky. We're proud to have partnered with Outfront Media to run that billboard, and we'll be advertising, just traditional advertising. And you may have noticed that since the COVID crisis started, we've tried to keep things light and have some public service announcement type things. And we've gotten some notes from some people that it's kind of helped to lift spirits, which is exactly what we've been trying to do during this time. We also have here the Modelo Bar, which we think is the largest outdoor bar in the state of Kentucky. We try to do things big here. So it should be a great place to congregate and have a cold beer before, during, and after the game. Why don't we take a walk over to the club? And as we're walking, James, why don't you talk a little bit about the NWSL, where we're coming from and where we're headed with that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously for us, we're negotiating with the league as to what expansion will look like for us. There's different expansion rules, so we're working through the different rules with the NWSL. We're really excited about the opportunity to enter the highest level of professional soccer and the women's game in America. So I think for us to have an ability to bring the caliber players that perform at the highest level, be it the World Cup level or internationals that represent the US, I'm sure there'll be other international players that will come. So I think it presents a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to give a tremendous product. Again, on the field, on the female side, obviously the men's team has been hugely successful over the years. So the goal for the NWSL is to make sure that we continue the tradition of winning and put a great product on the field. So it's something we're really excited about.
James, if you could talk a little bit, you and I, we're in every day, talk about them playing in our stadium. Talk a little bit about that.
I think where the NWSL is a little different is it's the highest level of soccer. So we're going to have at least 2 US current international players that just recently won a World Cup. I think there'll be some players that will have won multiple cups. The talent is something that this city probably has never seen before. To have athletes that have performed at the very highest level and won at the very highest level, performing, living, and in our city is something that, again, provides wonderful opportunities for us, not only from a club standpoint, but also for our younger players in the academy.
That's great. So we're making our way around the downtown side of the stadium here. And we're getting ready to take you into the club area, sponsored by Fifth Third Bank. Really proud to partner with Fifth Third Bank to lead the syndication of our financing. And they have their name on the club area here, which we're proud to show you. I will tell you that the club area is devoid of furniture right now because they're setting up for a blood drive tomorrow. So we will have several people in here blood tomorrow. But we're really proud of this space. This is where if you have tickets in the club or if you have a Loge box, you will be able to come into this area and get your all-inclusive food and drink. On the far side, you can see there's a buffet station. We've got a beautiful bar right here. It looks a lot nicer when you have furniture in it, I will say that, but c'est la vie. One of the cool things about our club area is that the home team locker room is immediately across the hall. So the home team, when they approach the field, they will walk through the club. So it's a really cool perk that you're seeing around the country and stadiums right now, that the club patrons will get to sort of mingle with the players before they head to the field. And we're really, really excited about that. So let's keep walking. So as the players depart from the locker room in the club area, they will walk this direction. They'll walk this direction to head down to the field. In non-COVID-19 times, we will have plenty of fans here. We also have the suites on this side of the stadium as well. We're going to go over those right now. There's also the sponsor of our suites. We have 18 suites. One of the things that I meant to say earlier that we're really proud of with this stadium is that there's something for everybody. We have club access, we have suites, we have loge seats, we have seats for the normal average Joe, and we have a safe standing section as well for our supporters, which is a really cool thing in the soccer world, which we'll show you in just a minute. But this is one of our suites right behind the bench, actually. This way. So you can see from the suite level, you're high enough up that you get a great view of the field. You're also low enough that you might be able to shout down to Coach Hackworth if you feel like you need some advice. This happens to be John Neese's suite. Hopefully John doesn't give too much advice, but I think he'll have fun with this seat. We have our player bench right here, and they're covered up because of the weather, because we're not using the seats right now, but they've got the super fancy race car seats that you see in the English Premier League and all around the world. So this is a first-class stadium. We've got a great place for our players to park when they're not playing in the game. So, okay, let's go back out. This way. Okay, let's walk. We're going to continue to walk around down toward the supporter section. I want to show you our loge box option. All of these are sold out, by the way, so sorry if you haven't purchased your suite or loge box. You're going to have to find a friend that has one. Another cool feature right here is our starter and substitute wall. So why don't you give me a shot of that, Kyle? So we will create a game day tradition. Instead of just tweeting out what our lineup is, we will actually put pictures of the players in that will be substitutes and starters for the day, which we think is going to be a cool game day tradition. We just had the pictures come in; they look great. So before every game, about an hour before, we'll slide in the slots who's going to start and who will be the substitute. Follow me out here, Kyle. There's 8 bars in the stadium. Everywhere you go, you can get your favorite adult beverage. We also have those of us that are familiar with Churchill Downs, as we all are in this town, are familiar with the loge box concept. So this is a 4-person loge box where you have chairs that move around and swivel, and they're very comfortable. They're like office desk chairs. Plenty of room to set your things down and really have a lot of space to spread out. So it's a great seating offering. Let's walk around back toward the supporter section. And as we do that, James, why don't you talk a little bit about the Youth Academy and what our plans are with the Youth Academy?
Yeah, I mean, we recently launched our Youth Academy, which is I think, another pivotal piece of the jigsaw of Soccer Holdings. So I think having had the ability on the men's team to win championships, obviously with the NWSL coming to town, the hope is to go on and win championships with that team. I think the next piece that we saw was giving the youth of not just Louisville or Lexington, but the whole state, the opportunity to have access to some of these players. So we're ways down the road with the academy. We've had a really positive response. Our tryouts are going to start mid-June. Obviously, CDC guidelines, and governor will dictate exactly when and how that will work for us. But we've had a huge response from the community. We've hundreds of children that have already registered an interest and want to come to the tryouts. We've started the process with Mario Sanchez, the academy director. He's done a wonderful job in building relationships with all the youth clubs. So I think we're in a fantastic spot as regards the academy. I think there's a real excitement for some of the younger players to be given access to, world-class players, honestly. So I think it's something that, as a city, I think for us to have a men's team, a women's team, and now an academy is just something that, when we started off many years ago, it was something that was the ultimate dream. So here now to be able to be in a position where we have the men's team, the women's team, and the academy, and then the fabulous training centre as well, I think it's really what dreams are made of for us.
It's very familiar to you growing up in Europe, but can you explain to the folks why having a soccer organization as opposed to just a soccer club?
Yeah, I think it's a pivotal piece. Obviously I came through the academy in England, so I'm well versed in the academy system. But I think for more and more American children now are wanting to go pro and be given access to professional levels. So part of that is the training, and ultimately, if you're involved in a professional academy, you're going to be giving professional coaching, and you'll be given opportunities that maybe some of the other youth clubs in the area aren't able to provide. So I think for us to be able to get children as young as 8, where the academy will start to develop their technique, develop their mentality, and create the perfect player for Lou City or the NWSL Louisville is something that becomes really important for us. We'll be able to give local products the opportunity to stay in town. Over the years, there's too many players that have left Louisville because they haven't had that elite level to be able to perform at the younger age group. So Louisville have got multiple young players performing in MLS academies and performing in MLS teams because we haven't quite been able to offer the level at younger age group so all those players required. So we now moving forward are going to be able to offer that service and keep our best talent in town.
James, we always want to compete and win championships at a very high level. Do you have to be a professional quality player to try out for our academy?
No, the beauty of the academy is we want to make sure that there's an ability for all players to be able to play and to receive great coaching. So as we've set off with the academy, obviously we know we will attract some of the better talent, but we also want to attract players that are just really passionate about the game and love the game, and I think that's something that we've tried to get that message across to a number of different parents is if your child is not at elite level, we will still be able to find a place for them at Lou City to be able to play and create that passion and give those children some access to some of the best players in the world that have come to town. And, for us, growing the game is really important. So we want to develop talent, but we want to develop passion and we want to develop the game. And that becomes a real part of the academy as well as the platforms of the men and women's team.
That's great. All right, now we're going to take a dive into one of the coolest features in our stadium, which is the safe standing section for our supporters. So follow me up the stairs, yes. Supporters don't sit, they stand. So why would we put seats in this section? So that they were very clear straight away when we started asking their feedback. Don't put seats in our section. Just give us rails and cup holders. And so, boy, did we give them cup holders. I think we've got about 2 cup holders for every person because 1 beer every half is just not enough, right? So we're really, really excited about this section. Above me, we will have championship banners hanging from the rafters, and we will also have what's called a TIFO rigging system. I encourage you to Google TIFO, T-I-F-O. It's an Italian term. And it's a tradition around the world, really, for supporters to paint massive signs for their teams and raise them before the game. And so we've got a rigging system built in that will allow our supporters to do that, and they're extremely excited about it. Cannot wait to see this section of the stadium packed and chanting for our boys and our girls. Sit down. Okay, we're going to continue walking around the back of the stadium here. Plenty of concessions and bars everywhere. We have we oversized the bathroom capacity significantly to make sure that all of our fans could get in and out at halftime. So this basically the whole south end here are cinder block bathrooms. Make sure we have enough. We're slowly approaching our team store here, which you can access on Cable Street. There is parking on Cable Street that is new. If you haven't been down Cable Street since this project started, it's a much better experience. And thank our local metro government for improving that street. And since some of the guidance has been lifted, our store opened actually today for the first time. So why don't you give them a shot of the store? Get plenty of Lou City merch and NWSL merch when the time comes. It's a really cool store. We love where it is in the building, and we think it's going to be a great place for our fans to buy all their favorite merchandise. All right, let's keep walking around. All right. I want to do one quick look. You can see that there's a lot of things that are around the stadium that you wouldn't normally see. We're trying to keep some things out of the weather at this point, and they have not been installed yet formally, like trash cans. Let's take a walk out here. This is one of our two corner bars. We have one on either side, and the view of downtown is gorgeous. What a great place to watch a game. We'll be right on top of the action if you come down to this section. The corner flag is feet away. It's just incredible access. We designed this stadium literally so that there was a minimum distance between the fans and the borders of the field. We got as close as we could get within FIFA regulations, because we felt like that would just maximize the fan experience, and we're really excited to have our fans that close. But I will tell you, keep your head on a swivel if you're sitting close, because those balls do come very fast. James, as we're walking around, do you want to talk a little bit about the training center? You know, we've got the men's team, we've got the women's team, we've got the youth program starting. That one key piece that was missing was a professional style training center. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, to attract elite level players, you have to have the infrastructure to be able to support that. So obviously having players that are playing at the highest level, they have expectations of being treated in a way and having infrastructure that allows them to compete at the very highest level. So, you know, when we sat down and looked at the roadmap, I think the infrastructure, the training piece was something that was really important to us. So, I mean, we've got really exciting plans with the training centre, which is going to be based just off River Road and Edith. I think the facility itself will be world class. So I think all our athletes now, whether it's the men, the women, or some of the academy players, are going to have world-class training facilities to be able to perform at the elite level. And I think that's something that, again, we're very, very proud of, is to be able to have a tremendous training centre to fall in line with this world-class stadium. So we're absolutely blessed to have the ownership that we do, that have made the commitment to not just the stadium, but also to the training centre and obviously the NWSL and academy programs.
Okay, one last little feature of the stadium I want to show. On the west side, we have these ledge tables. These are also sold out, so find a friend that has one. But it's a bar type table that gives you great access to every angle on the pitch. These chairs swivel, so you can watch whatever side you want to watch. Really, really excited about having this type of access for our fans as well. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about was the COVID-19 impact, and it's something that's obviously impacted all of us in one way or another. We've done everything we can from a business perspective to cut our expenses to the point that, you know, we're being smart, but we don't want to impact the value of our club 5, 10, 20 years down the road. Everything that we do, every decision that we make is based on long-term value for the club and for the community. So we've been fortunate enough that we have not had to furlough any staff. All of our players are still happy and being well taken care of, and their contracts are being honored. You will see, if you pay close attention to our league, you will see that some teams are furloughing, some teams are are going through some harder times. But again, we're really fortunate to have really strong ownership that has a commitment to our club and to our community, and we're holding strong. We feel like the best way for us to emerge from this is to double down right now, to invest in our community, invest in our relationships. So you'll see that our ticket sales reps aren't calling now trying to sell tickets. Obviously, that would be pretty tone deaf of them. So what they're doing right now is they're calling, just checking in on people, seeing how people are doing. Same thing on the sponsorship side. Our sponsorship sales reps are focused on building relationships. We're doing things like today, actually right now, we have a group of our staff that are going around delivering meals through the Kentucky Refugee Ministries program. We've had a couple iterations of neighborhood trash pickups. I know we delivered some meals with Chick-fil-A, who's one of our sponsors. We delivered meals to Baptist Health yesterday, who's also a great sponsor of ours. So we're trying to spend this time doing everything that we can to develop relationships with the community, to stay strong, because when we emerge from this, and we will emerge from this, we want to be ready to go, and we want to be strong. And so again, just really proud of our staff, proud of our ownership for making the commitment to keep everybody on board during this very difficult time. So why don't we take one more walk out here, Kyle? Let's see if we can go see the beer garden. One thing I didn't mention, I know everybody's probably wondering, when's the season going to start? So that's an iterative process. Governors of USL and trying to get back onto the field. We don't have any guidance at this point. It's an ever-evolving situation, as with all businesses. As you see our economy start to open up, it's opening up a little bit differently than Indiana and Tennessee, and New York and California are a little different. We're a league that goes from Seattle down to Miami and from San Diego to Hartford. So trying to coordinate all that has presented some challenges, but we're committed to overcoming those challenges, and we will have a season this year. I'm very confident of that, and we look forward to communicating more about when the season will start as soon as we can. I'm going to get locked out here. I don't think I can get out to the beer garden. Apologies for not being able to show you the beer garden because the door is locked. But outside of these walls, if you want to show them, you want to stick the camera out there. There's a beer garden that's sponsored by Butchertown 1020, which is a new brewery that's opening up on Washington Street. We will have a 12 by 25 foot TV screen out there. It's already on. You can see it from the highway. We hope to be able to show Premier League matches during the day, college football, things of that nature during our season for our fans to be able to congregate again when it's acceptable for them to be able to congregate before our games, enjoy a cold beer, and enjoy life. So at this point, I think we've given our tour of the stadium, and we can just go have a seat down in the chairs and start to answer some questions if that works for everybody.
Sure.
Is the background noise too much, or should we go to a different part of the stadium?
I think we're okay here. Let's we have a few things. Let's give it a try. I think we're okay. Okay. Let's see, Brad and James, first of all, thank you very, very much for the fantastic tour. It looks like an absolutely beautiful stadium. I think everybody's looking forward to seeing it in action. May have spoken too soon about the background noise. Can you hear me?
Yes, fairly.
Okay, I'll speak up a little bit. I have a few questions for you from club members, and let me just dig right into that. First of all, from Julie Schmidt, who says, congratulations, it's an awesome stadium. She wants to know how many people will the stadium seat?
The stadium capacity is about 15,000. There's 11,700 seats in the U shape. There's about 2,000, if you want to show them that, the open end. There's about 2,000 seats or standing positions in that concrete terraced area. And then the remaining balance is standing room only around the bar. So right about 15,000 is our capacity for soccer.
Okay, terrific. And then a question from Gene West Lasavio. How will social distancing change your seating in the bar areas, in the standing room areas, and so forth?
How will social distancing change?
How will social distancing change things? I think we don't know the answer to that yet. We're still going through the impact of COVID, when we're going to be able to bring fans into the building. And it's literally, I had a meeting right before this talking through it. We have a software that is generating models that will allow us to seat people that are from the same household or that have been quarantined together in social distancing clusters. And so I wish I had a better answer, but we don't know what the state guidance is going to be on that at this point.
Okay, fair enough. Another question: if you're a season ticket holder but did not get a parking pass, where
You're going to need to repeat that last one.
Okay, sure. If you're a season ticket holder but you did not get a parking pass, where will the season ticket holders park?
There's 2 more lots that we are completing right now that have not gone on sale, so there's still plenty of access to parking. But if you don't get a spot in those lots, there are some lots around in Butchertown. There's you can park at Waterfront Park and walk up. It seems like it's a long way away because it's on the other side of the interstate, but it's a lot shorter walk from Waterfront Park to our stadium than it is from the back of the parking lot at Cardinal Stadium. If you're out all the way by Crittenden, it's actually a much shorter walk. So there's going to be plenty of parking around. We feel very good about that.
Okay, excellent. The next question is from Rick Harned. Rick would like to know how many people the Fifth Third Bank Club Room might hold for, say, a luncheon.
How many people will be held in the club room?
Capacity for the club is for an event like that is probably 300.
Okay, so pretty good size. Okay, this question is from let's see here. Todd Lamb, will there be a banner hanging ceremony?
Will there be a banner hanging ceremony?
We're working through that right now. Actually, we hope to have one. The COVID thing has really thrown us into a tailspin with events like that. You want to have something like that at your first home game, but you want to be respectful if you can't have a full house. When do you do that? And so we're thinking through that. Certainly something that's on our radar.
Okay, very good. The last question that I have is from Ken Grossman. Ken says, first of all, the stadium is awesome. Congratulations to you and to Mike Lovejoy. And he asked, what are the chances that we'll be able to play a game this season?
What are the chances we'll be able to play a game this season?
Oh, we will have a season. We will play a game this season. I'm very confident of that. And I want to say thanks to Ken. Ken is the guy that makes these really nice sport coats. He does a great job. And I'm surprised he didn't ask that as his question. Where'd you get that fancy sport coat? But we will have a season, Ken. Rest assured. I promise you.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't ask that question either. Well, very good. Gentlemen, we really appreciate it. Thanks. It was a wonderful walk around tour. I think we all have a great view for what the stadium is, how it looks, and the design looks fantastic. We really, really appreciate it. We look forward to coming out for the first game and other games to root on the team. So thank you all very much. Okay, and with that, we're going to conclude our meeting. And again, just a reminder to all of the Rotarians, watch your emails for information about next week's virtual meeting. And also don't forget to make your donation to the Matching Gifts campaign. And if you have questions about that, please see or ask Alyssa. And with that, we are adjourned.